Hey guys, so this is slightly different to what I usually do, but this is probably what I should be doing to help us all, to help myself. I have never read Gita from the start to the end. Um, I actually don't even feel like saying it, and I just don't feel like it ends. It just keeps getting absorbed in you. There was a story that I was told once by my mom ages ago. Something about a guru and his disciple, and the disciple said that I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita every single, few days or whatever it is. I try to read every single day, but I don't think I fully understand what's being said. And the guru said, okay, take a basket, like a wicker basket, like the ones that are made of wicker, like, yeah. Take this wicker basket and try to get me water from the river. And the disciple was like, okay, how is this wicker basket going to carry water? I'm not sure. But because his guru asked him to, trusted him, he said, I'm going to try it, I'm going to do it. So he went to the river every single day. He would get water from this river. And I just saw one. So, okay. So he would get water from the river and he would try to bring it back to the ashram. Every time he tried doing it, obviously the water fell out on the way. By the time he got to the ashram, there was nothing left. And he was like, okay, try again the next day. Disciple was like, okay. So he did it the next day, and he did it every day for a while. And he was like, but, he asked his guru, like, this is not going to bring water. So how is this going to help? And the guru said, think about what you asked me a few days ago about the Bhagavad Gita not being absorbed in your mind. Although you are not able to hold all of the content, like this basket, you're not able to hold the water effectively, you are reading it. And just by coming in contact with that water, the basket has become wet. It's become soggy. It's become, softened with the essence of the water. So even though you're not able to hold all of it, you're not able to remember the Gita, just like that basket, you are absorbing something. You are absorbing something very divine. So even if you don't understand it, read the Gita. You will gain something from it. So I'll start with that story. Now I'm going to read one text today. And if I receive anything channeled at the end, or feel like picking a card, we'll do that. But yeah, feel free to join me if you want to listen to this. And we can connect with this because I feel this is the best way to connect, to listen. And yeah, let's do this. So this is chapter 1. This is text number 1. I cannot read the Sanskrit bit, so I'm going to read the English one. Okay. So Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So Bhagavad Gita is the widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, glorification of the Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Shri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. So this means you should listen to the Gita with a completely unbiased mind and in complete devotion of Shri Krishna. And I feel, yeah. So the example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciplic succession without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. So if we listen to the Bhagavad Gita, we're motivated to listen to it without any sort of, notions of this is why I'm reading the Gita and this is the message that the Gita is going to give me. Listen to it with an open heart, an open mind. Mind and heart, spiritually, I feel that they're the same. You don't think from here spiritually, you always think from here. And that is how you absorb the Gita. And if we're ready to absorb the Gita from here, we will get the lessons in some form or the other. We will connect with Krishna in some form or the other. One will find that Bhagavad Gita, all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of the Gita. It is the perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjay are described in the Mahabharata, form the basic principles for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is the sacred place of pilgrimage from immemorial time of the Vedic age. So it's just amazing how everything is so sacred. The battlefield of Kurukshetra is sacred because that's where the battle of Dharma was fought. This is very different to violence, by the way. This is something to absorb. This is something to understand the divine nature of everything that we're experiencing around us. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. Amazing. So, the word Dharmakshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjay, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. So I feel like this resembles a lot of us, when we're trying to connect with the divine, when we're trying to connect the Gita, read the Gita, connect with the Gita, or in any form of divine, when we're trying to connect with the divine light, we're feeling like Dhritarashtra, we're feeling a lot of fear and anxiety about what's going to happen in our lives. And here it is. This is what the opening sentence says, Shri Krishna is here. He was present on this earth physically at that time, and he sang the Bhagwan Geeta for all of us. And I think it's no coincidence that when he sang the Bhagwan Geeta, time stopped. It was like a timeless thing. But in the middle of, this battlefield, time stopped, everything happened, and within that flash, the whole Bhagavad Gita was delivered. And that time loop, I feel when we read Gita, we step into that time loop and we can access the divine energies if we open up our hearts to Shri Krishna. And that is the message that is coming through. So this is a very divine thing that we can all access if we want to connect with Shri Krishna. And we do. That's why we're here. So in his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjay, what did they do? What did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in the field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of war. Okay, I read that sentence. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want to compromise between the conscience. Cousins. It was split, okay? It was split. He did not want to compromise between the cousins and brothers. He wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. Okay, so this kind of, contradicts at the start for the Gita. We're told, listen to the Gita. Don't have any set expectations in your mind like, I want this. This is why I'm reading the Gita. It is not like a mannat or something, we're saying this is what I want, so I'm going to read the Gita. What he's saying here is Dhritarashtra had something on his mind, he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield, and that is like setting an expectation. I feel that this sentence here has been added for us to understand that when you're reading the Gita, just be open to receive whatever you need to receive. Don't have a set goal, like this is what I want and this is why I'm going to connect with Krishna. If that's what you do, then maybe you won't get Krishna. If you want Krishna, you just have to connect with Krishna with an open mind, and you have to trust your journey in his hands, and you just have to trust that he's going to show us the way. That's Krishna consciousness. Because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven, Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. So Dhritarashtra knew somewhere that he was on the side of Adharma, and he knew that this place, Kurukshetra, is so holy that things may not go in the favor of his sons or his side, the Kuru side, because he knew that somehow Dharma was on the other side. Yeah, it's kind of like knowing, your conscious says something to you, like an example, like if you're eating a sweet or something, or if you want to eat a sweet, which happened this morning. I really wanted to eat a sweet. My mind was saying, just eat it, nothing's gonna happen, it's gonna be fine. But you know that sweet is not good for you, so should you eat it or should you not eat it? It's the same example for many things. You know that you shouldn't do something, so should you give into temptation and just do it and just focus on what's going to happen in the moment? Or should you think about it, think about what you're doing, and think about what's going to lead you to Shri Krishna, what's going to lead you to your own soul connecting with Shri Krishna? And should we follow that? What is going to work out? What's going to work out well? Sanjay was a student of Vyasa, and therefore by the mercy of Vyasa, Sanjay was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra, even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. Akashic reading. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. This is basically creating like a portal, being able to see things. This is what I mean, like, it's just amazing at the depth of vision of your third eye, like the power of the third eye that is shown in the Gita is amazing. It tells you so many things in such a normal way, in such a subtle way, that you're like, yeah, that was happening. But if you read it and you try to see and try to understand what was actually going on, it'll help you realize that we all have these powers that we can activate, which is just amazing. Yeah. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as gurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. I always had a question in my mind, like, why was Dharma on the side of the Pandavas? Why was that the side where the Dharma was? And as I read this sentence, I kind of understand. Although Arjun was asked to fight, he was asked to, carry out his duty. Arjun was there at the battlefield and he was like, how can I kill anyone? Everyone's my own. And eventually Shri Krishna, helped him understand, like, I am in everyone. I'm in you, I'm in that person, I'm in this person, I'm everyone. So what are you doing? You're doing nothing. But here, Dhritarashtra is seeing his sons as his own, although the whole family is his. So ideally, Arjun and Dhritarashtra should have similar feelings, right? Like, this is my family. You shouldn't really have to pick a side, but one side is more about, this is me, this is mine, this is my side. The other side is more about, we're all a big family, so how can I do this? It's just an observation, but this is what I feel. That's one reason maybe, or one side of the coin, one way of seeing what was happening. So yeah, one can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in this relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pandu. As the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out, so it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Shri Krishna, was present, The unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhana, and others would be wiped out, and thoroughly religious persons, headed by Yudhishthir, would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words of Dharmakshetra and Kurukshetra, apart from their historical and Vedic importance. So that was text 1. And I just saw 33. It's on page 33. I'm getting good signs. I feel that the first text itself has a lot of messages, a lot of things for us to think about. And if you like, sit down and journal on anything that you feel you relate to. I'm going to try to reflect on things as well, definitely before bed. And I'm going to keep doing this. Whether one person watches it, 2 people watch it, whoever watches it, 20, 30, 100, doesn't matter. I'm going to keep doing it for myself, for my connection with Shri Krishna. And if you're here, remember that you're doing it for your connection with Shri Krishna. And we're all connected to him. We're all one. And that's basically what we're all here for. And that is also the basis of grid work. So yeah. So the Krishna grid, let's form it. And let me know if you have any insights, if you had any thoughts while you were listening to this video in the comments. I would love to know them. And yeah, hopefully we'll get onto the second text very soon. Thank you for watching.